happened here? Is it true that we are breaking down? Can't believe that this had happened now. Can we work it out? What's going on? Used to be we read each other's minds. You and me together intertwined. Can we make it right?
So the album is called The Fray.
Yeah.
And you produced it with a guy named Sam Lakeman, I believe.
Yeah. Sam has produced my last two records, but this one was a co-production.
So how did the two of you work together on this one?
We have a pretty good shorthand, and we trust each other. So, we were able to work pretty fast, instinctively, and then if one of us is driving the car off the cliff, the other one can
run in front of it.
Yeah, exactly. Grab us back on course. Yeah.
Okay. So, and I mean, production. So you were recording this at Peter Gabriel's Real World Studios, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
So does that kind of environment have an impact on you and your performance and how the record sounds? Yeah,
I mean the room itself is a reverberant and very sort of particular sounding room. So I wanted it to be a participant in the recording.
Right.
I wanted the room to have as much influence as the drummer. So we made sure to mic up the room properly and make it, sound lively and honest in that acoustic space. But also, in a place like that has its sort of prestige, I wanted to live up to it. So, practiced hard before I went in, worked really, really hard when we were there and worked fast as well. We didn't mess around. A lot of what's on the record is the first take, lots of first take vocals and guitars.
And is that typical?
We didn't want to waste any time.
Or is that something new?
No, it is, but with this record more so, just because it was, if anything else, it's an expensive thing to hire a studio like Real World, so I didn't want to waste any time,
Yep. Because, I mean, let's face it, a lot of people are just recording in their homes, have a little place that looks similar to what's behind you now. And
that's right.
Guitars and synths and stuff, and off you go. So why did you choose to record in a studio?
Oh, because it's an amazing sounding place. I've recorded there over the years as a session musician.
Right.
And I've always wanted to make a record there, and I felt that these songs warranted, the luxury of a proper recording space.
Very good. So the songs were written when, would you say? Were they written as a group, as a whole, or are they things that you kind of put together over the course of a certain space of time?
Well, I wrote a couple of them at the start of last year, but most of them between March and May last year, around the start of the world, changing shape. We had a bit of real life of our own to deal with, a bit of life and death. So that influenced me, immeasurably, just to go and write songs. So I sort of hid away and wrote as much as I could.
And is writing a fairly isolated process for you? Do you kind of hunker down somewhere and do that on your own?
I mean, in my case, it was in our house, with my family, where I've been, for the last year. But normally I write a little bit on the road, a little bit at home, a little bit while I'm traveling. And this time it was all in one place. It's the first time I've just written a record at home without going anywhere.
And the album opens with a song called Friends, which I think was released as a single back in January.
It was.
Is there a reason for, do you think much about the running order of the track order of the songs, and is there a reason why that opens up the record?
My friend, I won't ever say goodbye. We'll find one another down the line. No, people change, move on to a different place. My friend, I'll always recognize your face.
It just sounds like the opener.
I like
we listened back and just went, oh yeah, that sounds like the start of a record.
Right. Very good.
Yeah, and that song, it's that's a love letter to my mates. That's it's just to say, well, haven't seen you for a while, but still thinking of you.
Mm-hmm. And it's followed by Hold On, which I believe was the second single.
Yeah,
I'm hearing some kind of female
third single, actually.
Third single, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm hearing some female backing vocals on that one.
Take my hand and take it easy. Hold on. When you hold me steady. Hold.
Yeah, that's Jessica Stavely Taylor of the Staves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was finishing up the Staves record, and she had a free day, so she came down to Real World and lent her voice to the recording. Obviously a proper singer, you know. she just elevated the whole thing.
Right. Yeah, you got some interesting people on the record, like Bill Frisell and Lisa Hannigan. Do you choose the people who you have on the record? Are they there because they were kind of in the vicinity, or did you seek them out, or they seek you out? How did it happen?
Well, I mean, Lisa and I are old friends, and we've toured together a lot. And you know, I'm always keen to have her sing on anything because she's one of the best singers in the world. You know.
Yep.
And this duet just worked with her. It really it was crying out for her voice. Some of the others are, you know, close friends like the Milk Carton Kids and Courtney. These are all people I've played gigs with, and you know, we see once a year, once every couple of years at festivals or gigs or whatever, and it's like you haven't seen each other for ages, but you're still very tight. Whereas Bill, I'd never met Bill Frisell. We have a mutual friend in Joe Henry who introduced us over email.
Yep.
And Bill turned out, you know, the best guitar player in the world, was kind of sitting at home hoping for a gig to come in, you know.
Right.
So, like just like the rest of us, kind of going, well, what do I do? So, you know, I said, would you be interested in playing on my record? And to my amazement, he said yes, and then here we are. Bill Frisell. It's the first time I've let anyone else play guitar on my records. I gave a song to Bill Frisell, and Kenneth Pattengale is also playing a solo on one of the tracks. But other than that, I'm very particular about my guitar players.
Yeah, well, you have some ability of your own to consider. So when you had Bill Frisell, did you guys talk about guitar playing, or was there much of that going on, or did you just send him tracks, or how did it work out?
Yeah, I just sent him a song and said, "What do you think about this?" And he said, "Yeah, I like it." And I just told him, you know, do his thing. Right. With none of, I didn't offer any direction really to anyone. I just because I trust all these people, you know, I just said to Sarah Jarosz and Courtney Hartman, the track that they sing on, Deserving, I just said, well, if you sing high and if you sing low, and I'll sing in the middle, and let's see how it sounds. Yeah. And then they sent back separately perfectly synchronized harmonies.
Really?
That sounded great with each other. You take me out the mix, you've got a song. So I don't know how they did it. I don't know if they were talking to each other behind the scenes, but I'm pretty sure
they
to make perfect harmonies. Yeah, it worked out beautifully. Everything that came back was great.
Right.
It was quite an experiment, and a little nervous. You know, it was slightly nerve-wracking going into it, but it all worked out.
Right. So that process of working under those circumstances, has it changed the way you kind of think about making music now?
Yeah, I mean, I no longer need to fly people over from Nashville.
Right.
You know. So I think I've learned a bit about the possibilities of remote recording. Yeah. Definitely.
And does that kind of remote recording change how the interaction, like I would assume that you want to be there and kind of give them some guidance and suggestions, and does that still happen?
Well, I didn't really know. I just as I say, I trust them. I just ask them to do their thing. I think if you're in a studio session and you try and steer it too much, you're going to end up steering it in the wrong direction. I think it's better to be instinctive and let people just contribute what they feel instinctively a lot of the time.
Right.
And, you know, this thing about first takes, that's the best thing I ever learned about working in studios. That was from Joe Henry as well. He just taught me that if you're recording something more than 3 times, you're probably chasing something that isn't there.
Right.
So just move on. You know?
And you mentioned the fact that you do quite a bit of session work yourself. So that must also help you to understand when you bring somebody in to play on your session,
Yeah.
the mentality and the way to approach it.
Yeah, absolutely. You want clear direction either way. So, do your own thing or do this. Either one is useful.
Yeah.
And one of them is more enjoyable.
Now, the song that Bill Frisell plays on is called "The Best of Me." What can you tell me about that song in particular?
I dig around inside of my intentions, for my love has been a source of some contention. I've hurt the ones who look at me so clearly, and choked on all my habits with a smile.
Oh, that's a love song. That's about wanting to be, the best that you can in a relationship, trying to be as present as possible.
Yep. Which, of
it's
course,
got its...
it's followed by a song called "Star-Crossed Lovers." So
yeah. There's a lot of romance on there.
Very cool. Now, you mentioned Sarah Jarosz. In fact, I had a chance to talk to her last year because her album came out not too long ago, and she sings on "Eye to Eye." So, how did that track come together, and why did you choose her to sing on that?
I reach out, but my hands find empty spaces. I look out, but I just see strangers' faces. Eye to eye, remember when you looked me in the eye. Eye to eye, no, I don't wanna have to wait in line.
Well, Sarah had me sing on a project for the BBC at the very start of lockdown. BBC Scotland were presenting this music show of kind of remote collaborations, and Sarah got in touch and asked if I would sing High Sierra with her. So I said yes, of course, and spent a day trying to play along to Sarah Jarosz, which is harder than you think, man. She is so highly evolved. Her musicality is just monstrous. She's unbelievable. A crazy player. So I was learning a lot playing along with her. And then thinking about who I wanted to sing that song, I was thinking it'd be great if Sarah was up for it. And so I asked her and she said yes. So we did it in reverse. I sent her a guitar and vocal. She recorded her part and sent it back overnight. I sent my thing out at like 11 p.m. UK time, and when I woke up at 6 a.m. the next day, it was there in my inbox.
Nice one.
And it worked. It just sounded great. Worked perfectly.
Yeah. And it sounds like there's some slide guitar on that one.
Yeah.
Is that
yeah. Yeah, that's my Strat. Yeah.
Very good.
I would play slide guitar exclusively for a living if I could. I'm building up towards it.
Why is that? Why is that so appealing to you?
Oh, it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's fun and it's easy. It's much easier than singing songs.
Okay. So you mentioned the Milk Carton kids are on it as well. So is the entire band? They're all. How did you? And is there when you do hire or ask a group of folks, is there a threat of them kind of taking over the track?
No, it's just Kenny and Joey, and
okay,
and we're old friends.
Right.
So I asked if they'd do it. They said yes, and they sent their parts again. And I said to Kenny, look, if you want to try a guitar idea on Star-Crossed Lovers, then go for it if you feel it. And he sent me the most beautiful guitar solo.
Nice. So,
it's just like, I kind of see it as a bunch of colleagues working in the same office building on different floors,
Right. Yeah. That's
and sometimes we bump into each other in the lift.
Right.
So,
yeah.
that day I borrowed their stapler or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And they play on the title track on Fray as well.
Yeah, they're singing on there. Yeah.
And why is that the title track? Does it say something overall that you want to get across?
And it's up all night, down all day. I don't know where I'm headed, but it seems I know the way. I wait we all end up there anyway.
Yeah, you know, the fray refers to the fight that we're all in. And last year was a big, it was just a big mess, wasn't it? It felt like we were all walking through some fray or another. So
Yeah.
it felt apt to call the record the Fray.
Yeah. And does it still feel that way now, or is it feeling different?
It feels different for me, but you know, we've recovered from a lot of the stuff we went through. Weirdly, our struggle was completely independent of the COVID situation. We were having a bit of life and death going on around us that was unrelated to that. So it was as time passes and you recover, yeah, of course you feel better about it. By now, I'm so used to the sort of pandemic and the restrictions on my life. I'm just looking for opportunities within this kind of new reality to have a good time.
Right. So has it changed your way you approach making music as well? That environment?
Well, yeah, I can't go out and do it live anymore.
Right. That's got to be frustrating.
For the time being. Yes, it's tough. You don't really feel as alive, you know. But, you know, it means I get to record remotely with all these other people. I wouldn't have thought to do that otherwise.
Right. And are you writing more songs in the meantime?
No, I haven't written for a while. I typically get a record out, I put it out in the world, and I take a minute to have a breather.
Right.
Because when you finish writing the record and you go and record it, that's only a fifth of the work. I mean, I'm independent, you know, so I release my own music, and it's a full-time desk job anyway. So now the record is out, I'll take a little time off and then get to hopefully playing some gigs later in the year. And then once I've done a few gigs, see where I am and think about maybe writing some more music.
Gotcha. Did you do some kind of album release show on the 28th?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, played a live stream.
Oh, how was that?
It's amazing. Yeah, really good. I've got really good, like, lovely followers.
Uh-huh.
I know lots of people have got good fan bases, but mine is the best. And they were there saying nice things and being kind to each other. It was a really beautiful kind of community experience. Really nice.
Right. Well, I guess something has to replace the opportunity of sitting right in front of people and playing, and that must be the next closest thing, I suppose.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Have you been to New Zealand? Have you played down here?
Yeah, I came down in 2015. 2014. I opened for David Gray down there.
Ah, yeah.
But that's the only time I've been down. I'm hoping to get back, you know. Touch wood, next year.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll open up the borders and let some international. Fortunately, we have a very good local scene here.
Yeah.
We go to shows. Shows are happening all the time here, which is kind of lucky for us, I guess.
My friend Jerry Paul promotes some gigs down in New Zealand, and he's always talking to me about going and playing some shows. So I need to get in touch.
Now's the time, definitely. Yep. Okay. So, and are you thinking in terms of what you're going to do next musically, or are you kind of chilling?
Well, play these songs. You know, I'm putting together a new band to kind of communicate these songs out in the world. So that's the next thing. You know, this album, I hope, will keep me occupied for at least a year. Maybe 2 if it goes well.
What do you look for in people when you're putting a band together like that?
Oh, good humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ability to take a drink or two and not be too grumpy the next day.
That's always a plus. Yes.
Yeah. And they have to be able to play their instruments.
That always helps. Well. Yeah, I would. Yeah. Very cool. All righty. Well, thank you for taking time to talk to me. I'm glad I wasn't grumpy first thing in the morning.
I thought you did very well. Very well for what, 9 o'clock in the morning or something?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, have your. It sounds like at least you're in a good place there, out in rural Wales. It sounds relatively idyllic. So good on you. And thanks, thank you. Like I said, thanks for talking to me, and good luck with everything.
Yeah, good talking to you, man.
You too.
See you in person down the road, eh?
Please do.
All right.
Bye-bye.